Island, and it's underwritten by our friends over at Commerce RI. We're talking to emerging businesses, fast-growing businesses, interesting businesses, and I've got Carter Starr, and he's with Rhode Island Organics. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. He just shared with me beforehand the last time he was doing live television was over in the Outlet building for a quiz show back in the, I don't know, a few years ago.
For high school, yeah.
Yeah, for high school. You've started a pretty interesting company. You're a very experienced entrepreneur. You've done a lot of different things. Talk a little bit, give us the overview on Rhode Island Organics.
Essentially, Rhode Island Organics started back about 6 years ago. And essentially what happened was a few friends and I, we get together some nice organic green salads from the local farmers market. And as I reached for the salad dressing, I read the label. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And you know, a lot of high fructose corn syrup, high sodium, lots of sugar. And so essentially I said, we can make something better. I mean, something that's healthy, something that you actually want to feed to your family.
It kind of does counteract the positive nature of having a nice salad with fresh vegetables and then turn around and put sugar and a bunch of processed chemicals on it. So
Exactly.
I totally understand about it. So you started it 6 years ago. When did it really start to form as a company?
Yeah, we test marketed for a few years, primarily in South County, Rhode Island, and then as it gained traction and we became certified organic and gluten-free, probably about 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, we started really expanding. We picked up through Whole Foods, Dave's Marketplace here in Rhode Island. Just started also now recently with Roach Brothers over in Massachusetts.
Oh, that's great.
And so we just keep expanding. We do about 225 plus stores here in New England.
So you're not a little tiny company. I mean, 220, you're moving some salad dressing.
We are moving quite a bit of salad dressing, but we're still a small company. We've got a long ways to go. And that's what the funding here from Commerce RI really helped us last year. Got us going from, we're in about maybe 70 to 100 stores in the spring of 2017. Now we're into over 225. Sales increased probably in the 50-55% range. And also with Whole Foods, we're up over 300% in 1 year.
On store-over-store sales?
Store-over-sales.
That's great. And how'd you use the money? Was it from increasing your manufacturing? Was it on building the sales force?
Primarily to sales force, marketing, getting our brand out there. I have a salesperson that's on the road, knocking on doors, bringing on new accounts, servicing existing accounts, and working with our distributors.
And what's the biggest challenge? You know, I mean, I think everybody sort of, you know, everybody watches Shark Tank and envisions themselves as an entrepreneur. But as you know, every day, as a person who's an entrepreneur, every day there's a twist and turn. Talk about some of the twists and turns.
Primarily, it's getting our name out, our word out, why we're different than other salad dressings or marinades, sauces, and this way we do a lot of demos, do a lot of farmers markets, because tasting the product really makes a difference.
Right.
We use extra virgin olive oil. We don't use canola or corn oil or soybean oil. And you know, as I said, no added sugars. But until you taste it, you don't really get a good feel for it. And regardless of how well we make the product and how healthy it is for you, if it doesn't taste good, then it doesn't really matter. So
yeah, the marketing can only get you to get that first sampling. After that, the product's got to sell itself.
Exactly.
And how are you using? You know, I think everybody realizes you've got to use social media. You've got to build email strategies. How are those things going?
We're on both Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a Facebook website. We use Instagram quite a bit more now. We just like the format, and it gives us photos. We take photos of recipes or dishes that we've made, sometimes at the different locations where we are, and just put out there and just try to get across some exciting things that we're doing.
What have been some of the biggest surprises, the most positive surprises?
Positive surprise is reaction we get from people.
Do you have any celebrities? is all those Rhode Island celebrities? Do you have famous people like, let's see, Taylor Swift? Is she a regular?
She does have a product.
She does.
She has
you
had
heard it.
I cannot say.
You've heard it here first. Probably this will be picked up by TMZ and People Magazine by the end of the day. Taylor Swift has consumed Rhode Island organics.
We assume that she has because it has gone to her house. Put it that way.
Okay.
So that's all I can say about that one.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good celebrity sighting. Conan O'Brien, doesn't he have a house down in Westerly? Watch Hill?
I'm not sure, but Jay Leno's over in Newport. Maybe
Jay
there's
Leno, have you
opportunities
dropped
there.
one off over
Not
at
yet.
his house? We
We'll
broke
have
the
to-
story of him buying that house. Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty good celebrity sightings. Are you in the restaurant industry? Are restaurants picking up yet?
No, primarily we do retail for
Yeah.
markets rather than the food service. We just do the 12-ounce bottles. At this moment, we are thinking about food service.
Yeah.
Primarily, a lot of the organic restaurants that are coming, developing, are looking for some good organic salad dressings. We may develop into doing single-serve packets.
Oh,
which
nice.
is perfect for food service.
Yeah. And also, I think for people going to work and things like that and such that. As you grow, how is it dealing with, the bigger you get, the bigger the companies you're dealing with, the more demanding they are, the tougher they are on pricing? It's one
Yes.
thing when you're down the street at the place down in Peacedale, friendly Peacedale, but it's another thing when the buyer at Whole Foods, now owned by Amazon, run by Jeff Bezos, calls you. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's all the different chains have different requirements, and we were very fortunate with Whole Foods, and we got started and we got working with them. They're changing some of their formats now, but
Yep.
we're in the North Atlantic region up here. The other chains and through our distributors, most people don't know how much they really, I'll just say, not beat up, but beat up on manufacturers that they're looking for.
Negotiate with you.
Yeah, there we go.
They're
Very good.
aggressive in their negotiations.
Exactly. And so we can do what we can do. Some we just can't do. And so, but we try to do the best that we can. And a lot of it is just getting the product on their shelves and getting it in front of their customers.
How big can you guys become? Can you be a national brand?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's our goal. We want to get a good saturate New England first, get a good feeling around here, and develop the track record in the reorders and the growth, and then we can duplicate that and replicate that through other regions throughout the country.
It's funny, brands that do well in New England almost always do well nationally. There is that sort of tough Yankee test
Yep.
you got to jump over in New England, and also it kind of gives it credibility when you're a New England brand. It's trusted, it's family. How many employees do you have now?
We have just 2 folks working with us, but we also supply or contribute to 6 more people that are at the production plant. They're not direct employees of ours,
Yeah.
But we generate a lot of hours for them there, so 8 approximately.
And then how large, how big, is this going to be the next, Amica Insurance, Alex and Ani here in Rhode Island? Are we going to see this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What kind of economic spin-off does this create? And do you see going beyond salad dressings?
We'd like to get into more of the sauces, marinades, finishing sauces, mostly in a liquid form,
Yeah.
some sort of aspect from that, but dipping oils. There's a lot of opportunity, and we part of our business plan is to bring out at least 5 new products per year, SKUs
great.
of products per year.
And talk a little bit about who comes up with the recipes. Who's the taster? Who's the head of sort of the quality and the product and the uniqueness of it?
We're very fortunate. We work with a wonderful co-packer here in Rhode Island, and my business partner also works with them. So we use parts of their recipes and reformulated, and because we do add in the omega-3 fish oils for the EPA and DHA content. This past winter, we changed a couple of our products. made so now the whole line is organic and the whole line is gluten-free. But we spiced up the honey mustard a little bit. We put some turmeric in there, a little bit of clove,
Nice.
some cayenne. Changed the ginger plum around to make that gluten-free this year, where it wasn't before. And now we took out the sugar. So now there's no added sugars, no added sweeteners.
Our news editor, Kate Nagel, who's out covering a press conference, is celiac, so she will be overjoyed to see that
wonderful.
GF on
Yep.
it. And would this work on grilling? Can I
Absolutely,
marinate?
yeah.
Because I'm looking at this, I'm going, that's a marinade.
Salmon works wonderful with.
I bet.
And even the ginger plum works wonderful with salmon. On the grill and the saucepan. We try to come up with a lot of different ideas and recipes, ones that work well. We obviously take pictures of and try to post out there.
Talk a little bit about going through the process with the state. I mean, I think for a lot of people, their experience in, with the state of Rhode Island is the DMV or the revenue and paying their taxes. Not always the friendliest, most user-friendly experiences one's life. How was it working with Commerce?
Wonderful.
Are you paid to say that, or is this the truth? Come on,
No,
spill it out.
I've already been funded. I don't have to. I don't have to say anymore.
You can kick them
Yeah.
at any point.
No, the folks over at Commerce were great. I know if I start naming some, I'm going to miss some people there. So, but I'm really pleased that the governor has put so much funding into the Small Business Development Fund, I believe it's called, and we worked then with some lower lenders rather than the bigger banks. It was very good, quick process. I think we did it all within about maybe 45 days.
Oh, that's
or so.
great. This is such a small business state. I know, we're trying to attract other companies to it, but, there's about 44,000 small businesses, about 30,000 that are really active, that are functioning, not just, LLCs over at the Secretary of State's office, but really about 30,000. And you really look at how this state functions versus other states. We have a GoLocal in Oregon, out of Portland, and Portland's actually a big employer state. Companies like Nike and companies like Intel and big labor lumber operations. In this state, it's a very, very small. And so it's critical that, when you're hitting those milestones and you need that little bit of capital to grow through it, you have some ability to be able to tap those things to jump to that next level.
No, absolutely. I mean, we got funded just over a year ago, about 15 months ago, and it really made the difference for us. So the funding with Commerce RI was, as I said, worked well. We really got us out there further. Well, one thing I do have with the state is the minimum corporate tax on
Oh,
companies.
God, yes. Get rid of that damn thing.
It's like I
The dumbest thing of all time.
If you don't make, even if you don't make any money, you're going to pay a whole lot of money.
Absolutely.
I'd rather pay a higher percentage on my profits than be taxed on what I'm.
Good. I'm glad you fired back on that one. Last thing I wanted to touch on. Who did your packaging? It's nice, clean, smart packaging. Where did that come from?
Oh, we just went online and I've got a woman that does design work and worked with her.
Yeah.
And came up with the package. We wanted to come across with something that was direct, elegant, nice, not splashy, and
No,
something
it's
that was
smart.
a color that's different on the shelf that sort of doesn't blend in with everything else.
Well, it's a smart palette too. It looks good. The bottles look good together.
Thank you.
It's nice and easy to read. It's not over-scripted or some inane font that some designer fell in love with that no one else can read. So I think you did a really nice job on the packaging.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Thank you
quite
very
smart.
much.
Listen, this was great.
Thank you.
Just go back a few years ago over at the Outlet Company when you were in high school going through that quiz show. How did you do during that quiz?
Well, we won the first round.
Who'd you beat?
What
What high school did you go to? What high school?
Well, I went to Pontigansett. And
Pontigansett. So it was Pontigansett
Pontigansett High
versus...
School. I'm not going to say which one we won and which one we lost, but we competed against both the Lincoln School up in the East Side and Westerly High School. We won one and lost one.
And you're not going to identify who you
I
defeated?
I won't say which one.
There's some bitter feelings out there at one of those schools. Listen, I want to thank you, Carter,
Thank you
for
very
coming
much,
on.
Gus.
Congratulations on all the success. We want to hear more as we track you through your growth, and also hear about, you know, when the challenges hit and things like that. So really appreciate it. We're going to take a break for 1 second, and we're going to be back talking to another small business entrepreneur. Be right back.
Thank you very much.